Okay, I'm trying to go live. As you can see, I'm not exactly dolled up. I'm just trying to get through my day. And I have a lot of stuff to talk about today. I didn't know I was going to go on today. I, this morning, just about had a conniption fit. And I'm sure it's the asthma preparing to make its appearance because I'm having some issues right now. Okay, if you don't know who I am, I'm Suzanne Titkemeyer. I used to write a column called No Longer Quivering for Pathos. It involved the quiverful movement, it involved evangelicals, it involved the fundamentalists of this world. And I'm wearing my fundamentalist dress today, one of my leftover ones. Why? Well, because I'm having problems with my skin. So if you ever see me and I'm not wearing a whole lot, I'm wearing a jumper like this, skin. Skin having to do with mast cells. I'm going to go into that in just a second. Be aware these are just my opinions. Don't bully anybody I talk about. Don't bully Michelle. Don't bully KJ. Don't bully any of them. It's been a crazy morning for me. I got up this morning and saw that, hey, Angela, I'm not doing great. I'm getting ready to talk about that. Um, yeah, I got up this morning and I saw that the CDC had declared today was Rare Disease Day. And to lights that are fuchsia, royal blue, and Kelly green. Apparently, that is the rainbow Skittles assortment for rare disease. So I know I'm sounding extra sarcastic today, but I'm really there because of I'm right in the middle of, hey, Moonchild, I'm right in the middle of a terrible turn with my mast cell. I have mastocytosis. I try not to talk about it too often here. Hey, Grace Peter, it usually manifests as asthma, but not always. Sometimes I have a lot other things, including growths on my skin. I've had IBS at various times. I've had, like right now, I'm having a skin manifestation where I'm itchy and covered with Benadryl cream. Can't really take it. I'm like scratching out of my skin, so I'm not wearing much except for Benadryl cream and a little cotton because I can't take it. So I get up this morning and I see this after 18 years of having mastocytosis, or some doctors have said it's mast cell disease. It's all mast cell. That's all I know. So I see that and I'm excited to go, cool. We're finally going to maybe get some research on this crap. I was excited about it because of the fact that there's not a lot of treatment out there for mast cell. And I've noticed that they're concluding that long COVID is sometimes mast cell related. It has a lot of the same things. So I was thinking, good. So I clicked on the CDC's link to their website because I'm in there frequently reading like things, trials, and information on different treatments at the National Institute of Health, the NIH. They're all linked together. So I get there and Donata. There's not one thing on the front page to show that today is this awesome day. This is Rare Disease Day. Poking around, and they're trying to put together a website to deal with genetic rare diseases that they don't know about. And I'm going to guess that what I have is one of them. But it was like under construction. And I was like, what? So you declared today Rare Disease Day, but you couldn't even follow through with putting together a full website or even a partial website, just coming soon, and asking people to fill out surveys about what they may have or may not have. I was kind of disgusted. I'm sorry, I gotta grab the AC. I'm like boiling over here, and I just realized boiling, and I feel like I'm the size of a house. So I just got unreasonably angry, like, ugh. And for me, that's usually a trigger that mast cell asthma is on its way. So I spent the morning in my sunroom / studio. So I didn't have to deal with anything, any reality. I didn't have to talk to people who were PMing me. I was just ignoring all of that. And then I come back on around 3 after I've had lunch, check things. Bird, why are you distracting me right now? So, oh yeah, and something has torn up my bird feed. Katie Joy, back on this afternoon, and it's all gone sideways again. Apparently now, Katie Joy's doing that thing she does, and I want to say this to point this out. So yeah, I'm pissed off with the CDC. They bobbled so much about the COVID. I'm going to say the words. I'm probably going to be demonetized on this, and I don't care. They bobbled the entire pandemic in their own way, their own unique way. They bobbled the vaccines. They bobbled so much of it. And part of it is that this is a unique situation. But then again, part of it, and part that disgusts me, and I read this in Vanity Fair back about the possible origin of COVID and how it could have been created in a lab, and about the CDC's involvement with the Wuhan virus lab. So I'm kind of disgusted all the way around with them right at this second. And I hate being disgusted with them because I actually usually find their information really good. But like I said, I've just been more and more fed up with them. That's another case of something that needs to be completely redone in the USA. And I'm not having much luck here with the medical community because mast cell is something they don't know a whole lot about. Fortunately, my doctor that treats me for most everything, she's practiced in the States and practiced here, so she knows what I'm dealing with and talking about. And she knows that sometimes I have to go on chemotherapy to get this thing under control. And it looks like that's what's coming now. It is the next, I think it's the next step. I'm probably going to have to go back on. Nails popped off last time. I was in pain. I was fatigued. It was crazy. So I'm not happy about that. We have the infectious disease control lab where I live. A Chinese scientist was kicked out shortly before COVID hit. Guess which lab she went back to in China? I believe it was released intentionally. Grace, I'm beginning to think that too. And the thing is, I'm usually one of those people that laughs at others when they start coming up with these conspiracy theories, because if I know anything from the 30 years my husband worked for the federal government, is that bureaucracy moves like a sloth. It moves really slowly. But then again, I know from his work with military intelligence that not everything is done on the front channel. A lot of things happen back channel, away from the prying eyes of everybody and their brother. This is smart to take time in the sunroom for some self-care. Yeah, you got to do that sometime. I started watching the Murdaugh trial because I was so over, and tragedy pimps. It was stressing me out. It's all said, yeah, Moonchild, that is enough to get stressed out over. And I get stressed out sometimes when I watch those things. And then usually what I make myself do is stop and watch animal videos, do something I enjoy doing, like quilting. Even though sometimes I get where I'm just like, I want to finish this damn thing and never look at it again. So that's been my day so far, was puzzling over those things. And like I said, I hate disliking the CDC, but I don't like the fact that I'm coated with grease right now, because like I said, I've got asthmatic dermatitis going on as part of my mast cell thing, and I'm scratching myself stupid. And the only things that seem to help besides Benadryl cream is like this kind of stuff. And I hate this. It feels on the skin. It just feels, I don't know. I don't like it, but that's where I am. And that's why I'm so bent out of shape right now about everything. It can't be fun and creative, but I sometimes will get bogged down and was like, oh my God, why did I start working on this thing? I have 2 unfinished king size quilts that I just got bogged down on that I need to finish. And then I got the 3rd one that I halfway pieced and then said, oh, hell with it. I don't like this. So now I got number 4 in the works. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the other ones. We'll see. Maybe I'll sell them or give them away or something. So and I sat down and I started thinking about it. And I think that the reason that I'm feeling this way is because of the tragedy pimps. Oh yeah, the itching, when you're itching everywhere, you're doing like this, and you're grabbing the Benadryl cream and slathering yourself, and you're popping pills and using your nab. It is like the most miserable thing in some ways. And if I push the meds hard enough, I'm up in the bed sleeping, which I can't do that. I got too much to do. So I finally figured out it's the tragedy pimp people and Michelle and all of this. When I'm following it, it's making me crankier and crankier and less everything. It gives me a whole lot less empathy for anybody. It gives me a lot less sympathy for my own self with all the stupid stuff going on with my body. It's a no-win situation. So as amusing as Michelle can be at times, I think I'm going to have to quit watching that and quit listening to anybody talking about it, because I was finding myself last night getting so angry watching everyone's little clips of her work in the hospital for extra drugs. I was in the hospital, I think it was 7 years ago. I had a MRSA infection on my thumb. My thumb got huge. I mean, huge, huge. I should have taken pictures. And I had to be hospitalized to be given IV antibiotics and all of that. And I didn't get morphine. Hell, I didn't even get Toradol. Are you kidding? She's getting all this stuff, and I'm sitting here with my little extra strength Tylenol. They cut my thumb open on the top and put a little local on there and drained it. But I didn't get Toradol. I didn't get OxyContin. I didn't get morphine. I don't like morphine anyway because it makes me itch worse than this, which is pretty bad because I get cranky as hell when I itch everywhere. Their behavior is so crazy. I don't know how anyone could give MS a RX for anything. Moonchild, I am so shocked by that. One thing I did not know that I learned recently, because my husband and I were watching the Netflix series Dirty John, was that if you are a frequent flyer of narcotics, guess what happens? You have to have more and more when you're put in the hospital because it stops working for you. And that's always a dangerous red flag, or it should be to all medical personnel. There's something more going on, that there's some possible drug abuse going on in those situations. So I'm not sure we're not seeing that with the behavior. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do to the toe, because I saw pictures of it. She was posting pictures. It's black. There's a type of syndrome, if you're a heavy smoker, you can get where your fingers and your toes turn black because the circulation is so impaired from the years of smoking that there's not a lot they can do but start lopping off parts and giving you antibiotics. And I'm wondering if that's what's going on with that black toe. Now, I have had nails removed. I mean, thumbnails, fingernails, toenails removed for infection in the past. One time I did it without any kind of pain relief. And let me tell you, that's painful. That's crazy painful. But guess what? You can live through that without having too much in the way of pain meds. Because when it gets too toxic and there's too much infection, the pain meds aren't going to touch it. I don't care if they're injected, swallowed, rubbed into your belly, snorted, whatever. It's just not going to touch it. So she may be so infectious that that's what's going on. But I don't care. It looks like she's scamming for drugs. So I'm going to avoid, and go, oh my gracious, bless her heart, and move on. Now, the Katie Joy thing has been a lot more problematic for me, because Katie Joy is dying on that hill. She's dying on the hill with the ABORTION word. And Jessa Duggar Seawald. And I think that maybe her little stupids have been harassing Jessa, because Jessa is leaving social media for a while because of some of the things that were said and done to her. Science Girl got doxxed. I know she doxed a whole pile of people. And how do you do that and not get permabanned from YouTube? she showed some of the toad is black on the bottom. There's not very many circumstances that will cause that. And I made the decision to stop watching last night as I was watching the clip channels on all her recent shenanigans. And a doctor came in there to talk to her and tell her she had terrible circulation in her toes. And he was not Native American born. He was born somewhere else. I don't know where. I don't even want to speculate. I didn't catch what his name was. But he started telling her that she had pretty terrible circulation, and he was questioning her about her medical history, about any possible problems with her heart. He was asking the right questions, and she was lying her ass off. Where it got interesting to me was her subscribers started telling her how crappy of a doctor he was and that she should demand a new one, which she started doing right away and telling the doctor and all of the nurses that her friends told her she should listen to that doctor. I have just never seen anything like that. I'm just watching this still. And the thing is, we're from the same part of the world. So I don't even know what's going on in her brain. Maybe it's been too pickled with alcohol, drugs, or whatever. But it's not a good look. Now Kate Joy is going for years. She has some nerve. Oh, I'm sure she makes her family life miserable. Just like I'm sure that her husband is reluctant to say anything because he didn't want to stop the money train where he would have to actually go back to work and get a real job again. So he's kind of caught. So I'm sure that's what's going on there. Paul, yeah, pickled. Pickled the brain. So there we go. And I think with Katie Joy, she said some of the ugly things that now her little stupids are going after Jessa. Jessa's having to leave the online world. And I'm looking at this going, why is it something that Duggar family stopping this suit than pretty much anybody else? She has been defaming them for years. She's been reporting on rumors like they're facts without checking any of it, without trying to get any kind of verification whatsoever. She just reports it. One time I passed her a made-up rumor to see if she'd report on it, and she did. This is when we're still talking. And at that point, I just kind of like getting the hell away from her, and I didn't have much to do with her after that point. So now she is trying to say stuff about Black women, women of color, and pregnancy, and the big A word. And she's kind of like positing herself as if she is some kind of great white savior for them, and saying things like, well, that's white entitlement, and just going into some really ridiculous lists. She is gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's quite beautiful. And I'm envious of that naturally wavy hair she's got. She's just very gorgeous. Very nice looking. Hey, Bliss. Yeah, work. I'm getting ready to go back in there and sew some more because I still can't get over all this crap that is going on in the different communities. And I don't know why the Duggars don't sue. I wish they would. Because they could really put the hammer down on her hard. And Jim Bob is pretty litigious. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't filed against her. I'm sure there have been some cease and desist, and I'm sure she's ignored them. But Jessa, like Ginger and like Jill, has really great tortious interference claims because of some of the things that have gone on. So this is what she does. When she gets caught doing things, she does different things. She always doubles down. She always acts like she's going to die on that hill, and then she starts maneuvering to veer to something else. Bringing in race is one of the things that she is notorious for doing. She's done that a number of times. And the next step in the process will be to claim a medical emergency with the child. The last time she was in any slight trouble, suddenly the child was too sick for her to do any kind of live streaming. And we all know that she never leaves that basement. She is always there, always on duty. Hell, I don't leave this bedroom as often as I could, and I'm never in here as I mean near as much time as she spends in the basement of doom, I started calling it. So yeah, I'm still pretty angry at her for all the things she said about the whole thing with Ginger Duggar. And why do keep saying Ginger? Jessa Duggar. Yeah. So my husband is after me to say I've been mispronouncing Asbury all this time because my brain that grew up listening to two, sometimes three different languages, sometimes parses things that I read completely wrong. And that's what it is, Asbury, not Ashbury, like I've been saying. So I've been doing that. Cindy got onto me for mangling Vadi Bacham Sock'em robot's name. I've been doing that. And also, I just have to say, with the whole Frankfurt Declaration, because John MacArthur was the first guy to cite it, I thought he was the author. Turns out it's a panel of guys. Not just John, not just Bodie, but a whole pile of people have worked on that stupid thing. Hey, 304 girl. Kitty doesn't mind using her son when she needs a quick excuse, and it is definitely off-putting, and I think that's what we're going to see. If this keeps on any longer or much longer, there will be an emergency, and it will be overblown and hyped. You know, that's one of the things that's weird about having known her back then, is he had open heart surgery, and I knew he had open heart surgery because her and I were corresponding that day, and she was showing me photos of him pre-surgery, post-surgery, and it was terrible. I don't trust the CDC either, as far as I can throw them bliss, because of some of the things that have gone down. And I hate taking that stance. I've always been pro CDC. Now I'm starting to see the way that the research money crumbles and see how they manipulate things, which makes me nervous for myself and everybody else, because we're stuck using their advice to figure out what the hell to do. I don't want to go back on chemo for this crap, and I'm pissed off. Yeah, so there you go. Get to find out what it's like to be this kind of disabled. I can't get in the pool because of the skin. I can't even go out in the sun. Ah! So here I am ranting about Katie Joy and Michelle. I wish I'd let her take a shower, Michelle. Wash her hair. It just looks dirty. Okay, so that's about all. I shouldn't be throwing personal observations on anybody's appearance because I'm definitely struggling myself in that regards right now because of this stupid Marcel. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. My voice is going. I'm trying not to use an edible this early in the day, but I don't see other way around it. I probably need to do that. Love you guys. Have a great day. Do what you need to do to feel okay. I am getting ready to not watch any drama at all and maybe put some people on a little vacation so they don't have to look and see the most outrageous thing they're carrying on about. Because like I said, this whole thing with Jessa Duggar Seawall has been one of the most triggering things I have ever experienced in the world of KJ. And I've been astounded by the number of women who've come forward and talking about their own DNCs and the various reasons. Oh, I am doing that, Janice. I'm going to go back in there and sew in a few, even though I don't know what sewing on an edible would be like, what kind of quilt I'm going to turn out. Okay, you guys, love you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later when I get something else to rant about. And the CDC, I'm not happy with them right now.